I'd like to thank Karnataka State Chartered Accountants Association for giving this opportunity to do a short video on it. I'll be discussing on a brief checklist for preparing a effective reply to the show cause notice received under GST. I have prepared a checklist bifurcation like basic, notice, and subject matter jurisdiction, proper office, proper officer, and content of the notice, and other. So we'll come one by one. First is basic. All these are basic. I'll not touch because it's a short video. I need to speak point to point. Next, background of the client. You should know the background of the client because the nature of activity which the client will undertake and why there's a liability of GST and what are the activities, what are the documents they issue, how they conduct the operation. All these things are basic which you should aware before replying to the show cause notice so that you can a better draft a reply. Next, administrative jurisdiction of a client. Essentially, you should know the administrative jurisdiction of the client because only administrative jurisdiction, if it falls under state, then only state can issue a show cause notice for certain aspects. Like audit, section 61, and a registration, cancellation, all this related show cause notice, only administrative jurisdiction can issue, no one else. But if it is intelligent based operation, then show cause notice given either by a state or center. How to check whether you fall under which jurisdiction? Administrative jurisdiction. How to check administrative jurisdiction? You can log into gst.gov.in and go to search taxpayer. Under search taxpayer, you have to enter a GST number, search through GST number, then you enter CAPTCHA and enter, you will come to this page. Here it will show clearly the administrative jurisdiction and other office. Administrative jurisdiction which is responsible for your administrative work, registration, additional place of business, cancellation, GSTR 3A notice, all this will be issued by administrative jurisdiction. And if your administrative jurisdiction falls under state, then audit is also will be done by a state, not by a center. So once you issue a show cause notice for audit, then you should ensure that it is through administrative jurisdiction. If it is intelligent based auction, then then there can be a state or central, both have a power to issue a show cause notice and do a investigation. Next, notice. What are the content you should see? The notice date and the date of signing. Date of signing, because of the digital signature, you can see as a digital signature date because one of my client received a show cause notice where the digital signature was 20th April, but the notice date was 28th March. So you can come to know when actually signature has been done by a department. In some places, rarely they will also do a mistake. So you have to be very careful of it. Then notice DIN, because as per the circular, if there is no DIN, it is not a valid notice. You check the DIN, you go on to the website as such and check the DIN and ensure that the DIN is valid. Section under which the notice is usually important because we will deal with the prerequisite for issuing the show cause notice, because under which section they issued a notice, based on that there are some prerequisite the department has to satisfy. For example, if they're issuing a notice under section 74, fraud, misstatement or suppression of fact, it is essential. If that is lacking, then they can't issue a show cause notice under 74, they have to go for 73. At the same time, to issue a show cause notice, some order under section 62, they should have issued a notice under section GSTR 3A. So these are the prerequisites, very important for any person to see under which section the notice is issued. Then backdrop for notice. The backdrop for the notice can be an audit, investigation, search. It is like a police investigation. The department has to do an investigation. They have to collect all the evidences. After that, they have to issue, they have to allege so many aspect and they have to give an opportunity of being heard. Once they are given this, then we have to reply to the show cause notice. If it is an audit and then administrative jurisdiction will do a search, and based on the intelligent action, then center and state both can do. If it is a show cause notice from audit, ensure that it is from the administrative jurisdiction. Mode of service of notice is important to see if the mode is not proper. Then you can take this ground. Then date of receipt of notice. Many clients they will not save the envelope through which they are issued a notice, because the envelope will serve as a very valid date to prove that, because the time limit for replying and to file an appeal is based on the date when you received. Because this khaki color envelope will have a seal of the postal authority, it serve as a valid ground to prove the date of receipt of notice. Then we'll come to the subject matter jurisdiction. Is very important in the following aspect. What are the prerequisites under this particular notice? If it is a section 74, what are the prerequisites the department should satisfy to issue a show cause notice under that? Then you list down what are the prerequisites, what they have fulfilled, what they are not fulfilled. Then it becomes a checklist. When you draft, once you start drafting a reply to the show cause notice, you may miss out some grounds. If you have this checklist and if you made a note in this checklist, and after replying to the show cause notice, you can come down and check whether you have considered all the grounds, because any one ground may give a big relief to you. So it is better to take all the grounds instead of relying in any one particular ground. It is always better to rely on all the possible grounds. Then you have to see whether GSTR 1 is electronic issue, because the rule 142 requires issue of DRC 1 electronic along with a show cause notice, and DRC 1A is not mandatory now. It is a pre-show cause notice consultation. It is not mandatory now. Under service tax it was mandatory, but the demand amount is more than 50 lakhs. But under GST it is not mandatory. Then a relevant form for issue of notice and reply. So you need to go to the rules and see under which form the department has to issue notice, under which form you need to reply. So you can see and make a note of it. Then it will be helpful at the time of preparing a reply. Then proper officer. Under this proper officer, I done two classification. One, who is the proper officer for issuing show cause notice, who is the proper officer for issuing doing adjudication, and who actually did it. So first two is name of the person who issued a show cause notice, name of the person to whom I need to adjudicate show cause, because the audit wing and DGGI will only issue a show cause notice. They will not do adjudication, because para 6 of 31/2018 requires audit wing and DGGI only to issue a show cause notice, but actual adjudication will be done by a jurisdictional office. Then you need to mention who is issued a show cause notice and who is adjudicating this person case. Then you go to circular 3 and 3/2017 and 31/2018 and see who is actually, as per the monitor limits, who is the proper person for adjudication and issue of show cause notice. If you go to the 31/2018, there is a monitor limit for each person. If it is a central tax, the only demand is only central tax, and the tax is less than 10 lakhs, then superintendent can issue a show cause notice. If it is 10 to 1 crore, DCAC can issue. Above 1 crore, additional and joint commissioner can issue a show cause notice. If it is only IGST, that limit will become double, because how the rate is double, the limit is also will double. If the demand is for both central tax and integrated tax, then it is double. So you mentioned whose. So if the person is person issuing a show cause notice and adjudication is different than what is there under circular, then you can question this. And all these technical grounds you have to question at the first opportunity itself, because sometimes the taxable person will reply with their own motion without consulting the consultants, and they will not bring all these grounds, because all these grounds are very essential, because as per 160 subsequent 2 says these grounds you have to bring at the first opportunity. If you are not bringing this at the first opportunity, then you cannot bring this later. Then content in the notice. Then you need to check what are the content in the notice, because it's like a police investigation. I told you have to, police will do an investigation, then they give a charge sheet. It's like show cause notice, like a charge sheet. First they will do an investigation. They list out all the documents to prove their case, because the burden of proof, like a police department where the accused need not prove that, police has to prove that he is the culprit. In the same fashion, in the department, the exception is ITC. ITC's burden of proof is on a taxable person, but the output liability, the burden to prove is on the department. Department should prove that this person is liable to pay tax and he has not paid. For that, he has to collect all the evidence at the time of investigation. After collecting all the evidences, he has to list out all these evidences chronologically, and he has to give along with the show cause notice. And the assessee should contest, and he has to so he should then prove that those documents are not valid and why it is not valid. All this proceeding will follow. Next, if the RDU relied upon document is called third party statement, then you can have an option to cross-examine those third party statements. The department is said to call the person who has given the statement, and you can cross-examine him. If the department failed to give, that itself is a ground in the appeal to say that principles of natural justice are not followed, because if the third party statement is involved, then they have to give an opportunity of being cross-examined. Then what is the demand amount and calculation? Because of interest, they will left and right charge 24%, even though 4110 or 4210 is not there, they will charge 28% in the notice. You have to compute properly, and accordingly you have to give a reply. And if the extended period is invoked, if the notice is issued under section 74, you have to see under what ground they are issuing this, whether fraud, suppression of fact, or all these grounds they have to prove, and also see what are the evidences. By just saying that without this investigation, this tax would not have come out, all these things is just a formality, but that is not a proper ground to invoke extended period. To invoke extended period, they should have a ground which is mentioned in section 74 of fraud, misstatement, and all these grounds, and these grounds has to be proved along with the proof. And number of days given for replying the show cause notice is also very important, because they can't issue a show cause notice and ask them to reply within 2 days, because the proper time has to be given to the taxable person to go through the notice and to prepare his reply. If the time is not given, then it is a lack of opportunity of being heard, then that itself is a ground at the next appellate authority at the time for filing an appeal. Time limit for filing final order is just for your reference to say that within which time they have to close this case, so you can have a track of it. So thank you Karnataka State Chartered Accountants Association for giving this opportunity. Thanks a lot.